Have you ever noticed something funny about people? Sometimes the person who gets the most attention in the room is not always the person with the perfect face, the perfect clothes, or the person who looks like they just walked out of a magazine. Sometimes it's the person sitting quietly in the corner, drinking their coffee, laughing at their own jokes, and somehow everyone wants to know who they are. You know that person. Maybe they walk into a room and they are not trying to impress anyone. They are not checking if everyone likes them. They are just comfortable being themselves. And somehow, people are drawn to them. It's interesting because many people walk through life completely unaware of the qualities that make them attractive. They look in the mirror and only see what they think is missing. They see the wrinkles. They see the little imperfections. They see the things they wish they could change. But other people often see something completely different. They see your smile. They see your energy. They see the way you make them feel when they are around you. And this is something the famous psychologist Carl Jung spent a lot of time exploring, the hidden parts of ourselves that we often don't recognize. Because sometimes the most attractive things about you are the things you never even think about. Maybe it's the way you listen when someone talks. Maybe it's the way you make people laugh. Maybe it's the calm energy you bring into a stressful room. And today, we're going to talk about 8 signs you may be much more attractive than you think. And before we start, I want you to be honest with yourself. How many times have you looked at someone else and thought, wow, they have everything together? But when it comes to yourself, you're like, I'm just me. Funny, isn't it? We are usually our own biggest critics. You can have 100 people compliment you, but one person says something negative and suddenly your brain acts like it's holding a press conference. Your brain says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have important news. Someone didn't like our haircut in 2017. We will never recover." Your brain can be so dramatic sometimes. But today, we're going to look at the signs that show you may have more charm, confidence, and attraction than you realize. So grab your coffee, relax, and let's talk like friends. Because this is not about becoming someone else. It's about noticing what was already there. Sign number 1. People feel comfortable around you. One of the biggest signs that you are attractive has nothing to do with your appearance. It has to do with how people feel when they are around you. Think about it. Have you ever met someone for the first time, and within 5 minutes you felt like you had known them for years? You could talk freely. You could laugh. You didn't feel like you had to pretend. That feeling is powerful, and those people are rare. Carl Jung believed that people are deeply influenced by the energy and presence of others, not just the words they say, not just their appearance, but the feeling they create. Some people walk into a room and everyone becomes uncomfortable. You know the type. They enter like they are the CEO of the universe. They don't say hello. They don't smile. They look around like they are inspecting a hotel room. Interesting. The chairs are acceptable. Nobody wants to be around that energy. But then there are people who walk in and suddenly the room feels lighter. They smile. They ask questions. They make people feel noticed. And that is incredibly attractive. Maybe you are that person. Maybe people randomly start telling you their life stories. Maybe strangers start conversations with you. Maybe people say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel like I can trust you." That is not a small thing. That is a sign. Because attraction is not only about someone looking at you and thinking, "Wow, they're beautiful." Sometimes attraction is someone thinking, "I feel good when I'm around this person." And honestly, that feeling can be stronger, because looks might catch attention for a moment. But comfort? Comfort makes people stay. Think about your favorite people, your favorite friend, your favorite family member, the person you enjoy spending time with. Is it only because they are attractive? Probably not. It's because of the way they make you feel. Maybe they make you laugh when you're having a bad day. Maybe they listen when nobody else does. Maybe they make ordinary moments feel special. That is attraction too. So if people naturally open up to you, relax around you, and feel safe being themselves around you, you might be more attractive than you realize. Sign number 2. People remember small things about you. Here's another interesting sign. People remember things about you. Not just the big things, the small things. Your favorite drink, a story you told them months ago, something you mentioned casually. Have you ever had someone say, "Hey, I remembered you liked this, so I got it for you." And you thought, wait, you actually remembered that? That feeling is amazing, because being remembered makes people feel important, and attractive people often create that feeling in others. They leave a small mark. They make people feel seen. Now, I'm not saying you need to become some superhero who remembers everyone's birthday, favorite color, childhood pet, and what they ate on Tuesday 3 years ago. Nobody has that kind of memory. Some of us can barely remember why we walked into the kitchen. You walk into the kitchen like, okay, I came here for something important. 5 minutes later, interesting, I live here now. But when you genuinely care about people, they notice, and that is attractive. Because in a world where everyone wants attention, someone who gives attention becomes special. Think about social media. Everyone is trying to be seen. Everyone is posting. Everyone is saying, "Look at me." But someone who makes another person feel, "I see you," that person stands out. Maybe you are the person people call when they need advice. Maybe your friends tell you things they don't tell everyone else. Maybe people come to you because they know you actually listen. That says something about you. Your attractiveness may not come from being the loudest person in the room. It may come from being the person who makes others feel important. And that quality, it is becoming more rare every day. So let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone who was not necessarily the most beautiful person in the room, but after talking to them for 10 minutes you thought, wow, there is something special about this person? That something is what we are talking about, because real attraction is deeper than what people see at first glance. It is the invisible things, the things you cannot measure, the things you cannot put into a selfie. And sometimes the qualities that make you unforgettable are the exact qualities you overlook. In the next signs, we're going to talk about something very interesting: why people who are comfortable being themselves often become the most attractive people in the room, and why your confidence might be showing even when you don't think it is. Sign number 3. You don't try too hard to impress people. Let's talk about something we have all seen before. You walk into a room, and there is that one person who is trying very hard to prove they are amazing. You know what I mean? They are telling everyone about their achievements. They are dropping names. They are making sure everybody knows how successful, intelligent, funny, and interesting they are. And after 5 minutes you're thinking, okay, we get it. You are the main character. The movie can continue now. Laughs. The funny thing is, the people who are truly confident usually don't need to announce it. A calm person doesn't have to walk around saying, "I am calm." A funny person doesn't have to keep saying, "Guys, I'm actually very funny," because everyone can already see it. And this is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have: being comfortable with who you are. Carl Jung talked a lot about becoming your true self, accepting the different parts of your personality instead of constantly trying to become someone else. And there is something very attractive about someone who is not fighting for approval every second. They are relaxed. They are present. They are not walking around thinking, "Do they like me? Did I say the right thing? Did they notice my shoes?" Because when you stop desperately trying to be liked, something interesting happens. People start liking you more. It's almost like trying to catch a butterfly. If you chase it around the garden screaming, Please like me, butterfly. The butterfly is probably going to leave, but if you sit peacefully and enjoy the garden, sometimes it comes to you. People are a little like that too. Confidence has a quiet energy. It says, I'm happy with myself. I enjoy your company, but I don't need to become someone else for you to accept me. And that is powerful. Think about the people you admire. Maybe it's an actor, a friend, a family member, or someone you met once. Usually the people we remember are not the ones trying desperately to impress us. They are the ones who were comfortable. They laughed naturally. They spoke honestly. They didn't pretend. They were just themselves. And that is attractive. Now, I want you to think about something. Have you ever apologized for something that didn't even need an apology? Like, sorry, can I ask you a question? Why are we apologizing for asking a question? Imagine walking into a restaurant. Excuse me, waiter, I'm so sorry for existing in this building. Could I possibly maybe have a menu if it's not too much trouble? Laughs. Sometimes we make ourselves smaller without realizing it. But people who are naturally attractive understand something. You don't need permission to exist. You don't need to shrink yourself to make other people comfortable. You can be kind. You can be respectful. But you can also take up your own space. That quiet self-respect is attractive. Sign number 4. You make people laugh without trying. Let's be honest. Life can be serious. Bills, responsibilities, stress, traffic. The person who takes 5 minutes to answer a simple text message, you know the one. You send, "Hey, how are you?" And 3 days later they respond, "Sorry, I was busy." Busy doing what? Building a spaceship? Laughs. Sometimes we just need someone who brings a little joy into our day. And people who can make others laugh naturally have a special kind of attraction, not because they are trying to be a comedian, not because they are performing, but because they bring lightness. They make ordinary moments better. Maybe you have that friend who can turn a boring shopping trip into a funny memory. Maybe you are that person. Maybe your family says, whenever you're around, something funny always happens. That is a gift, because laughter creates connection. When people laugh with you, they feel closer to you. They associate you with happiness, and humans naturally move toward things that make them feel good. Think about it. Why do we love certain people? Not because every conversation is deep and serious. Sometimes we love them because they make us laugh until our stomach hurts. Those moments stay with us. Carl Jung believed that understanding your personality and embracing your natural traits was important for becoming whole. And your humor is part of your personality. Maybe you make funny observations. Maybe you have a unique way of telling stories. Maybe you can find something funny even during difficult moments. That does not mean you ignore serious problems. It means you know life is already heavy enough. Sometimes the person who brings laughter into someone's day becomes unforgettable. And here is something funny. A lot of people think they are not funny because they compare themselves to comedians. They think, I'm not funny. I don't have a Netflix special. My friend, relax. Nobody asked you to sell out an arena. Sometimes being funny is just saying the random thing everyone else was thinking. Sometimes it's making someone smile when they needed it. Sometimes it's sending a silly message that makes someone's bad day better. Small moments matter. Sign number 5. You are comfortable with your imperfections. This one is huge, because many people think attraction comes from perfection. Perfect face, perfect body, perfect life, perfect everything. But honestly, perfect people are exhausting. Imagine meeting someone who never makes mistakes. You say, I forgot my keys today. They say, I have never forgotten anything in my entire life. Okay, Superman, congratulations. Laughs. Most people connect with someone who is real. Someone who can laugh at themselves. Someone who can say, yeah, I messed that up. someone who doesn't pretend to have everything figured out. That kind of honesty is attractive, because it creates trust. Carl Jung often explored the idea that humans have different sides, the parts we show the world and the parts we hide. Many people spend their whole lives trying to hide every flaw. But sometimes the things we hide are the things that make us relatable. Your weird laugh, your funny habits, your little mistakes, your unique way of seeing the world. Those things make you human. And humans connect with humans, not with perfect statues. Think about your favorite people. Do you love them because they never make mistakes? No. You love them because they are them. You know their funny habits. You know their strange little routines. You know the stories they repeat every year. And somehow, those things make you love them more. That is the same way people can feel about you. You may be looking at yourself thinking, I wish I was different. But someone else may be thinking, I love that about them. The thing you consider a flaw may be someone else's favorite thing about you. So far, we've talked about 5 signs. People feel comfortable around you. People remember things about you. You don't try too hard to impress people. You naturally make people laugh. And you are comfortable being human. But we are only halfway through, because the next 3 signs reveal something even deeper. Why your energy matters more than your appearance. Why people may secretly admire you. And the biggest sign that you have a presence, people cannot ignore. Sign number 6. People notice your energy before they notice your appearance. Have you ever met someone and thought, I don't know what it is about this person, but I like being around them? You can't explain it. Maybe they are not the loudest person. Maybe they are not dressed like a celebrity. Maybe they are not trying to get attention. But there is something about them. Something you feel. That is energy. And this is one of the biggest things people underestimate about attraction, because attraction is not only about what people see, it is also about what people feel. Think about 2 people walking into a room. The first person walks in looking amazing. Perfect outfit, perfect hair. Everything looks great. But they look angry. They don't smile. They treat everyone like an inconvenience. The second person walks in wearing simple clothes. Maybe their hair is not perfect. Maybe they are just having a normal day, but they smile. They greet people. They make others feel welcome. Who are people going to remember? Usually, the second person. Because human beings remember feelings. You might forget exactly what someone was wearing 5 years ago, but you probably remember how they made you feel. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious mind picks up on things we don't always consciously notice. The little signals, the tone of someone's voice, the warmth in their eyes, the confidence in the way they carry themselves. Sometimes your energy introduces you before you even say hello. And maybe you have experienced this yourself. Someone meets you and immediately says, "You seem really kind," or "I feel like I can talk to you." And you think, "Really? Me? I was just trying to remember where I put my phone." Laughs. Sometimes we don't see what other people see. Your energy is built from many small things. The way you treat people, the way you handle problems, the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you make people feel when they leave a conversation with you. A person with a peaceful energy is attractive because peace is rare. The world is already full of noise. Everyone is stressed. Everyone is rushing. Everyone is trying to prove something. So when someone comes along who brings calmness, people notice. Maybe you are that person. Maybe people come to you when they need a little peace. Maybe your presence makes difficult situations feel easier. Never underestimate that. Sign number 7. People copy your behavior without realizing it. Now this one is really interesting. Have you ever noticed someone starts doing something you do? Maybe you laugh in a certain way, and suddenly your friend starts laughing the same way. Maybe you use a certain phrase, and someone around you starts saying it too. Maybe someone starts becoming interested in the things you enjoy. This happens because humans naturally connect through something called mirroring. We often copy the people we feel comfortable with. And no, I'm not saying someone is going to follow you around wearing the same clothes and ordering the same coffee, although that would be slightly creepy. Imagine going to a coffee shop and someone says, "I'll have exactly what they're having." The waiter says, "Sir, you ordered hot water." "Exactly. I'm becoming them." Laughs. But small things happen. People naturally adjust to those they admire or feel connected with. They match your energy. They become more relaxed around you. They use your expressions. They pick up your habits. And sometimes that is a sign that your personality has an influence. You leave an impression. Think about the people who have influenced your life. Maybe it was a teacher. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was someone you met only once. But something about them stayed with you. Maybe it was their kindness. Maybe it was their confidence. Maybe it was their way of looking at life. That person left a small piece of themselves with you, and you may be doing the same thing for others. You might not even realize it. Someone might remember a kind thing you said years ago. Someone might remember how you encouraged them when they were struggling. Someone might remember that you made them laugh during a difficult time. We often underestimate the impact we have on people. Sign number 8. You are becoming more yourself. This might be the most important sign of all. The more comfortable you become with yourself, the more attractive you become. Because there is something powerful about someone who is authentic, someone who doesn't spend their whole life pretending, someone who knows, "I am still growing, but I like who I am becoming." That confidence is different. It's not arrogance. Arrogance says, "I am better than everyone." Confidence says, "I am okay with who I am." Huge difference. A confident person does not need to make others feel small. They don't need constant approval. They can celebrate other people while still appreciating themselves. And that is beautiful. Many people spend years trying to become attractive by changing everything outside of them. New clothes, new hairstyle, new image, new personality. But sometimes the biggest transformation happens inside. When you stop hiding. When you stop apologizing for your personality. When you stop comparing your life to everyone else's highlight reel. Because let's be honest, social media has made everyone look like they have a perfect life. Someone posts a beautiful vacation photo. You think, wow, their life is amazing. Meanwhile, behind the camera, they are probably arguing with their partner about directions, getting sunburned, and wondering why they paid $18 for a sandwich. Laughs, everyone is human. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has insecurities. The difference is, attractive people learn not to let those insecurities control them. They accept themselves, and that acceptance creates confidence. So let's quickly remember the 8 signs that you may be more attractive than you think. Number 1, people feel comfortable around you. Number 2, people remember small things about you. Number 3, you don't try too hard to impress people. Number 4, you naturally make people laugh. Number 5, you are comfortable with your imperfections. Number 6, people notice your energy. Number 7, people naturally mirror you and connect with you. Number 8, you are becoming more yourself. Now, I want you to think about something. Maybe you have spent years focusing on what you think is wrong with you. Maybe you looked at other people and thought, they have something I don't have. But maybe you never stopped to notice what you already have. Maybe your kindness is attractive. Maybe your humor is attractive. Maybe your calm nature is attractive. Maybe the way you make people feel is your greatest quality. Because at the end of the day, true attraction is not about being perfect. It is about being real. The most memorable people are not always the people who look perfect. They are the people who make us feel something. They make us laugh. They make us feel understood. They make us feel like we can be ourselves. And maybe the reason you don't realize you are attractive is because the qualities that make you special feel normal to you. Your kindness feels normal. Your personality feels normal. Your way of caring feels normal. But to someone else, those things might be exactly what makes you unforgettable. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these signs describes you the most? Are you the person who makes people laugh? The person everyone comes to for advice? The person who makes others feel comfortable? Share your answer in the comments because I would love to hear your story. And remember, never underestimate the power of simply being yourself. Because sometimes the most attractive thing about you is the part of you that you never thought was special. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more deep conversations about psychology, human behavior, self-growth, and understanding ourselves better. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.